All right, all right. Positive energy all the time. Welcome, one and all, as we kick off another month, the month of July. Planning a lot of good demonstrations over here. I'm going to try to get my brother Andrew over here to talk about alcoholism. This is a full health channel here to encourage you to take your health serious. Much respect to everybody that's over. Much love to Danielle, Quaylen. The Body Sculpture Challenge. Make sure you take the Body Sculpture Challenge. It's non-stop. So if you fall off, you can come back anytime. It's year in and year out. The goal is to sculpture your body, get more in shape every year. Greetings to my brother, More Power. I hope you're feeling great. Hope your recovery is going well. And so yesterday we talked about stroke. And today I'm going to continue that conversation. I'm going to continue that conversation, and we're going to get into the stroke belt. And the stroke belt is some states in the southeast where stroke is up in that region of the country higher than anywhere else. We're going to look into that. Much respect to Baby Lane. And we're going to see what's going on with that. It's really troubling, especially Mississippi and Alabama. It's kind of sad. I will also be here to talk about amputations this week, which are also pretty high in the South. As I would imagine, I'm going to look into it, the stroke belt is an unhealthy region. So I would imagine there's quite a few different complications. Diabetes, heart attack. It all kind of goes hand in hand. It's basically bad health. Which is sad. All Americans aren't doing as well as they should. Black and Hispanics are doing the worst. The Hispanic population, after migrating here, I personally think they began to pick up some bad habits. I've been to Mexico, and in Mexico, they eat a lot of fruit. I'm willing to bet that when they come here, their fruit consumption is probably down. It's probably down. My fruit consumption is not up where I want it because fruit is not being grown in this area anymore, and we have to wait for it to be shipped. And they are some kind of way preserving fruit and selling it out of season. So a lot of times it's a little strange. So you really have to wash your fruit to make sure they're not putting any chemicals on it. You really have to wash your vegetables to make sure they're not putting any chemicals on it. I should do a whole live stream on that, on how to clean your fruits and vegetables. Yeah, so I think I'll do that. Let me write that down. I have to write these down because new ideas will come and push the old ideas right out of my head. And so we're going to be talking about a lot over here at Vegan Intel, trying to encourage people to take care of their health. It's a subject that you have to find a niche for. Uh, People typically don't like conversations about health and eating better. I think they feel guilty, and I think they just want to eat what they want to eat, and they make themselves believe that what they're eating is fine. But it's just crazy to think that there's an area called the stroke belt. There is a stroke belt in the southern eastern U.S. with higher stroke mortality rates, and this is particularly pronounced for Black Americans. Within the stroke belt, coastal regions of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia have particularly high stroke mortality rates. Researchers are actively studying genetic factors, risk factors, and social determinants of health to better understand and address the disparities in stroke risk and outcomes for Black Americans. Raising awareness about stroke risk factors and promoting preventative measures such as controlling blood pressure, managing diabetes, and adopting a healthy lifestyle is crucial. Improving access to quality health care and addressing social determinants of health are essential for reducing stroke disparities in Black communities. And what's interesting about this is, as a child, both of my parents are from Alabama. Every year we would go to Uniontown, Alabama. We would go to Birmingham. We would go to Decatur. My father's people from Decatur. My grandmother, on my mother's side, spent all her time around the Birmingham area. And my grandfather, my mother's father, spent all his time around Uniontown, Alabama, which is in the country where he was. They do have a little town, but most of the people were living in areas growing food. So they wasn't in the town. The town was only like a block back then, a block and a half. And I can't say for sure because I haven't been down there in years. Me and my cousin are talking about going down there maybe this year if we can't uh, get it in the summer. I'm telling them we shouldn't go in the summer. We should go in the winter to escape the cold. But I lived, I lived there, 2 or 3 weeks every year, basically. It was like living there. And I'm not sure if it's still the same, but the people aren't that active. They don't go to the park, how young Black Americans, how we go to the park, how we play baseball, basketball, football. I don't think that's that big down there. I would have to go and see, but I don't think so. I don't think it's that big unless you go away to college, probably. But from what I understand, good to see you, Pure Grow. And from when I was there, people kind of sat around a lot, especially in Uniontown, my grandfather had, because one, it was too hot. The same in Florida. When I went to Florida to mix my album, I was down there maybe a week and a half. And it was too hot to come outside in the day in Florida. I'm not kidding. Nobody was outside during the day. They might be in a car making runs, but when you look outside in Florida, and this was back in 2008, 9 in that era, there would be nobody outside because it was really a different type of hot. But Florida is surrounded by beaches, and so people always going to the beach. So I believe they're getting probably the most exercise. That's why they're not a part of the map. And in the map is Indiana, which is right next to Chicago. That's also a place that doesn't have much to do. Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And I believe these places don't have a lot of recreation for the youth. Because when it comes to recreation, and when it comes to moving your body, it's something you have to be doing as a child. And if you do that as a child, that will put your body in pretty good shape until your late 30s. Okay? Seriously. And then you'll get out of shape if you don't keep working out in your 40s. But for example, if you're a young kid in Chicago, I started trying to throw the basketball up at the rim before it could get up there. We had recess and stuff, so we'd be out shooting basketball not long before you can make it reach. And when you're in a city like Chicago and you're playing basketball as a child and you're playing baseball will last until about the 7th or 8th grade, where you get too busy in high school. You get too busy at high school, you kind of change up. But as a little boy, we played baseball every day. We had a baseball field right there. That had a lot to do with it. But basketball is something that in the community, in Black communities like Chicago, there's always a basketball rim in walking distance for the most part. There's a basketball rim. And basketball is the type of sport that you start playing very young. And by the time you are in high school, you only play more. So you have a tendency to play baseball a little less. You have a tendency to play football less because now all the really good football players are going out for the team. So those of us that aren't going out for the team, we're not going to be playing that much anymore. So like once I got in high school and you got the football team and I went on the football team, I wasn't playing football at all. Because football is something you play on the block, you play two-hand touch. But typically for my generation, a tradition in Chicago for a lot of youth that parents could afford it, which most could, you got your driver's license on your 16th birthday. It was a part of your birthday gift. You 16, you go down to DMV, you get your license. You get your permit at 15. And with your permit, you can drive as long as somebody's in a car with a license. And that's when you learn how to drive it. Then 16, you get your license. Oh, so when I got my license, that cut some of my physical activity because for one, I'm not walking all the time. Because when you're a little boy and you don't got license, you got to walk to the park. You got to walk to the store, right? You got to walk to the store. You got to walk to the park. You got to walk to your friend's house. Now you get your license. You're not walking as much. You're driving to the store. You're not going to the park too much. You're driving to your friend's house. You're driving to the store. You're driving and you don't get as much leg exercise. And I personally believe that at a young age already that fixates your metabolism. This is just my theory. So by being young and walking a lot and playing a lot, it corrects your metabolism. Now, also, we were the baby boomers, so anybody knows that a lot of children play a lot and no children don't play at all. So my children, they played, but not as much as we did because there wasn't as many children to play with. You're not going to really play hide and go seek with 3 or 4 kids standing around. But if you got 10, 15 outside at night, now everything is more fun. Every game is more fun. And also, with that many children on the block, you've got, at any given time, you got 2 to 3 activities going on at the same time. So you got the boys playing running bases. Running bases is where you stand on the mark down there in the middle of the street. I stand here, and we both got a glove and a rubber ball. And you're standing next to me. And running bases went like this. When he throws the ball to me, you got to take off. And you got to get to him before I catch the ball and throw it back. If you don't make it, he tag you and you out, right? They don't play any of that anymore. I don't see children doing hide and go seek. I don't see men playing running bases. We had strikeout where if you didn't have enough people to play baseball, 2 dudes, 2 kids, 2 young men would go to the school with some chalk, draw a box with a cross in it. That's the strike zone. He pitch and you hit it. Here, base hit. If he catches you out, but if it get past him, base hit if it bounce here, double there, triple there. If you hit over there, we have a marker, so we mark like a little chain fence where the grass is growing outside. You hit it over there, that's a home run. So we would be able to play full baseball games with just 2 people. But as you start getting older, you're just driving and driving. Now, in a rural area, they can't do that. They don't have that same type of activity. Even in Birmingham, when I traveled to Birmingham as a child, they didn't play together on the block. Each little group of children just run around their own house. They didn't have that like community. When my cousins from Alabama came up here, we take them outside on the block and they play with all the kids. But when I went there, we just play with them. There wasn't, and it's the same era, but of course, more rural, less people, and different habits. And so I think typically in the South, they sit around a lot. think they sit on the porch and they rocking chairs. I think they sit out on the porch. I think they sit, they sit, they sit, they sit. I don't believe the South is active. I think the only people that's getting any active activity in the South is those that go to high school to play sports and then go to college to play sports. I believe everybody else is pretty much dormant in the South, and I believe that's why the South has a high uh, ratio of stroke. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Farmers, but farmers, G Rob, once they went industrial farming, all the farmers are pretty much out of business. And all the farmer doing now is just riding on the tractor. Or he's got it's not a lot of individual farming, and the industrial farmers bought all of that and chased the small farmers, been out of business. So it's hardly no small farmers. It's all industrial farming. They got tractors now that can drive by themselves and fertilize, and they got machines that can water everything by itself. A lot of that's automated. So I just believe the South is a more slower, chilled back. And I think life has changed a little bit. So they're probably eating lunch, especially in the country. When I was growing up, they didn't eat any lunch. They had breakfast and they had supper. And it was called supper because it might be a little late enough for granddaddy to come out of the field. So you wouldn't really have dinner at 5 or 6 o'clock. It'd be supper. It might be 6:37. And for lunch, they pick a watermelon or something. Bust a watermelon. I remember when I was in Alabama, they would call us, and for lunch, they would give you whatever's growing. Peanuts or plums or whatever is growing, peaches, Baton Rouge in the building. So I think in the South, I don't think they get much exercise. I think some of the boys do that play sports, and maybe the girls if they get on the cheerleading squad. But from my experience in the South, they're not as active. It's rural. Everything good. Imran can tell me if I'm right or not. So I think in the South, I don't think they have enough children to be active, and I'm talking about children. And see, when you don't get to run around a lot as a child, which you don't get to do if it's not a lot of children. I give a perfect example. I'm part of the baby boomers. I was more active than my children. I was more active. And my sons just like to play the video game. Plus, mixed with the gang activity and the way the gangs had changed. I didn't let my sons go outside much at O Block because the younger boys that they with, they BDs already. They're already gang affiliated, little. But they didn't want to go outside like that anyway. This only exercise they got was with their thumbs. And at high school, playing sports at high school. It's only my son ran track, and that was excellent. My grandson, he didn't play. My stepson, he didn't play no sport. So, I don't think he got as much activity as my son did. My son's a year younger than him because he ran track. So I'm thinking in the South, it's kind of chill because it's rural. The children aren't as active because they're spread out. And when you're spread out, children don't have as much fun if it's not a lot of children. The more children, the more they run. The more they run. If it's not that many children, they're not going to run that much and play. The girls already don't do too much running. But if there's a lot of little boys around, the girls will run more than they would run if it was just a few girls, because the boys is running and the boys is chasing them, and you have a tendency to play running games. When I was growing up, we played running games. You ran a lot. We had a game called uh, The Devil and the Pitchfork. And The Devil and the Pitchfork was a game where one child is the devil, one child is the baker, and all the other children sit on the curb, and you are the cakes. So you would tell the baker what kind of cake you was. Like, I'm chocolate. And he said, I'm coconut. I'm peach. And you'd be sitting on the curb. So whoever's the devil would walk up to the baker and say, do you have a lemon cake? No, I don't have no lemon cake. Now let's say I'm chocolate. And he said, do you have a chocolate cake? The object of the game was I had to get up. As soon as he say chocolate cake, I got to get up. I got to run all the way down here around the cars and beat him back without him catching me. Because if he catch me, now I'm the devil. So a lot of times, the devil might not catch nobody for a minute. The devil might. So that's a lot of running, right? And that was a very fun game because nobody knew which cake you were but the baker. And soon as he mentioned your cake, you have to take off soon, right? Then we played running bases and we played it and we played hide and go seek. And you know, in hide and go seek, once they say, I see you, you got to beat them back free, right? If they beat you back to the spot, now you are it. Now you're the one got to count catch everybody. So once somebody spots you, it's a race back to whatever the spot, whoever touch it first. And if they touch it first, now next time you got to look for everybody. So it was a lot of running. That's my point. A lot of running. And what do children got to do with it? Because I believe that's what sets up your metabolism. What initiates your metabolism through 30 is your activity as a child. And I believe if you don't have much activity as a child, and then you go to college, you're going to gain a lot of weight. You're going to gain weight in college. What they call it, the college 15 or the college 20, where you pick up 20 pounds right off the top. That your metabolism, if you haven't been doing that young, I believe your metabolism lasts longer if you're running as a child, where you won't begin to lose that until you get 40. You will naturally pretty much stay in pretty good shape on through your 30s. And then at your 40s, if you're not moving by then, if you don't start moving in your 30s, then in your 40s, you will see the results of not moving, not exercising in your 30s. So this is why I think they're having so much stroke in the South. Now, Mississippi is number 1. Alabama is number 2. Delaware is number 3. Louisiana is number 4. South Carolina is number 5. Ohio is number 6. Tennessee is number 7. Georgia is number 8. North Carolina is number 9. Kentucky is number 10. Arkansas is number 11. Maryland is number 12. Florida and Michigan are both tied for 13. And Indiana is 15. And so that's why it's called the stroke belt, because you see most of those states were these states. There's a couple sprinkled, but almost all of these states, stroke is prevalent and high. Indiana makes sense because there's nobody for them to play, nobody for the children to play with in Indiana too. Right? Yeah, hopscotch, hula hoop. The girls played, they jumped rope. We played four square, where you draw 4 squares and you're trying to hit the ball, and if you don't hit it, it's like ping pong with your hands. It's like tennis, but with your hands with a big ball. These things, then we just raced. The boys race. I race you, I race you, I race you. And then bikes. That's another thing. We rode bikes like motorcycle gangs. These children bikes are nothing no more. You don't see gangs of young boys in the 3rd or 4th grade on bikes. When I was growing up, you're going to see 12, 13 boys fly down the street on bikes. Everybody wanted to swing. I had a swing. Everybody wanted to swing 5-speed. And bikes was like a motor. I mean, you had to have a bike. I rode a bike all the way to my 20s. I went from a 5-speed to a 10-speed by the time I'm a senior and graduate high school. Now I'm riding all the way to the beach. We buying beer. We ride to the beach and drink beer, smoke. My 10-speed. I had a 5-speed as a little boy, a 10-speed as a young adult. And that bike, we could ride miles. I ride from the south side of Chicago down to 63rd Street Beach, 55th Beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that anymore either. You do see it with older bike riders. But the children, well, there are no children. That's another thing. There are no children. And that's another thing. Because as adults have less children automatically mean less exercise. Automatically. When you got children, you got to move. Yeah, they don't go outside. He says down there they don't go outside much. You know what I mean? In the South. But it's super hot though. The only ones crazy to go outside is the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds. We don't care. But you never seen from high school and up, you never seen them outside. The only one, when I used to go to Alabama, the only ones out there, no matter what, is the little kids. I'm right. So that's why I'm saying that's what sets your metabolism. I believe your metabolism gets fixed at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I believe that's when your metabolism gets fixed. But then if it's not a lot of children, of course you're not going to be out there running around in the sun because there ain't nobody to run around with. I mean, when I would be in Birmingham, the children would be out there running around and I would sneak off because I wanted to watch the grown people play bid whist. And I'll be sitting there watching them play bid whist for about 15, 20 minutes. Then like 8 children come in. Michael, come on. And I'd have to go out there and run around with them. As soon as they ain't paying no attention, I'd dip back off with the adults. But a lot of children is going to cause more playing. And this generation not having no children. When you got children, you exercise them. Any man could tell you they get mad exercise when their wife have a baby. Because them babies are heavy. Them babies are heavy. And you could pick up weights and everything with no problem. But it's something about a baby where a baby seems heavier. That same amount of weight that's not a baby you can carry all day. But when it's a baby, I don't know. They little, they light, but they're so heavy. But with the mother, they're not because the mother got breasts, so the mother don't have to hold them straight up. They're leaning over her breast, so she don't got the full weight. But for us men, we got the full weight of this little rascal, and it's heavy. I mean, not heavy like, like Mr. Olympia, but the babies are heavy for some strange reason. Like, why is this little sucker feel this heavy? But then mommy got him like it ain't nothing. But mommy not holding the baby. The baby's laying over mommy's breast. So all she doing is just stopping him from slipping off her breast. She don't got all the weight. We don't got no breast, so the baby's straight up. So we got all the weight. Y'all ever know, men, how easy your woman can carry the baby? Easier than you. Your woman can carry it easy. When you carry it, you playing it off, because you a man. But it's heavy though. It's definitely heavy. And you always feel you got to really hold it. Mommy ain't got to hold it like that because it's laying like this. It's got something to hold on. She's out like that. The baby's like this. With us, the baby's straight up and down. So we got all the weight. But this is a shame that our people are so sick and so much overweight. This is a shame. The stroke belt refers to a region in the southeastern United States where stroke incidence and mortality rates are significantly higher than in other parts of the country. Specifically, it encompasses the states of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Mississippi. The stroke belt is primarily located in the southeastern United States with a concentration in the coastal plain region of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, often referred to as the stroke buckle. Higher stroke rate. Residents of the stroke belt experience stroke rates 18% higher than the natural average. Disparities. This region also experiences higher rates of stroke-related deaths, with some counties reporting death rates more than double the national average. Potential causes. While the exact reason for the high stroke rate in the stroke belt are still being researched, contributing factors are believed to include higher rates of obesity, smoking, hypertension, and socioeconomic disparities. The stroke belt highlights the need to target public health interventions and address stroke risk factors and reduce the burden of stroke in this region. Now, why did they leave out heat? Because there's such thing as a heat stroke. And my youngest son's grandmother on his mother's side said she was in Africa, I think, and she was out in the sun. They told her, you better get out that sun. And she heard her brain bubble. She felt her brain go bloop, bloop. She said it was that hot. She said she heard and got it. She was faint, but she said she heard it go bloop, bloop. So you got to take that into consideration, the heat too, because there is a thing called a heat stroke. But the food, the lard, all the pork, all the meat is really predominant down there. There's in the South, they eat a less variety of food than they do up north. By up north being a lot more sophisticated, people are eating a more variety of food, a lot of Asian food, right? A lot of Thai food, a lot of Chinese food. They're not just eating the typical old school Black American diet, which was always horrible. Pork, 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 beef, pork, beef, pork, beef, chicken, pork, beef, chicken, pork, beef, chicken, pork, beef, chicken, which is definitely not healthy. And so I think it's a bunch of factors, but exercise is going to have to be pushed. There's a lot of land down there, so I'm not sure if they're building adequate parks and exercising facilities with them, all them empty spaces down there. When you go to these small cities, they just got empty space they don't even use. Even some of the middle-sized cities, like in Arizona, it's a bunch of land just sitting there. It's like, what y'all gonna do with this? It's just sitting there. But when you go outside in Arizona, you don't see nobody outside either. I guess it's too hot. You don't see anybody outside. And because they're so used to not being outside in the day, they don't even be out at night. They be in their cars. But I didn't see people like walking around. I didn't see people walking around like you do in Chicago. They're driving, but you don't see no physical exercise. I didn't see no parks, no parks. You got to go to a gym, you got to go to LA Fitness or something. But no parks, no regular recreation in the South and out West either. No recreation. Not that I've seen. It's all car action. Drive. There's no recreation. I mean, none. Not that I've seen. I mean, zero recreation. What they do for fun is go watch baseball teams. Watch somebody else do. They watch somebody else exercise. They go to a football game. They go to a baseball game. They go to a basketball game. But they don't do none of that. I ain't seen nobody in Arizona with a basketball or nothing. I didn't pass no parks. They ain't got no parks nowhere. No parks. Like if you come to Chicago just driving, you know how many parks you're gonna drive past? It's parks everywhere. But even then, you don't see people at the park too much even here. The park's not packed like it used to be. So now you go to the park, you're liable to get robbed or something liable to happen to you because there's no civilians up there. It's probably only troublemakers. You need a lot of civilians, and then the troublemakers aren't so comfortable. But this situation is not good. The United States, approximately 795,000 people experience a stroke each year. That's almost a million. This includes both new and recurrent strokes, with about 610,000 being first-time strokes. Total strokes, 795,000 annually. First-time strokes, 610. Yes, Alabama has one of the highest stroke death rates in the United States. Specifically, it is often cited as having the second highest stroke death rate, with Mississippi sometimes ranking slightly higher. This high rate has led to Alabama being considered part of the stroke belt, a region in the southeastern United States with elevated stroke mortality. So yeah, and this is some other problems they have from being unhealthy. They have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and arterial fibrillation. This is in Alabama, how sick they are. That's how sick they are. And I don't get it. And the hospital visits, look at the hospital visits around the country. Stroke hospitalization. Look at Lynchburg City, Virginia. Crazy. Maryland, Texas, Virginia, Texas, Illinois. Look at Illinois. Hospital visits from stroke. Franklin County, wherever that's at. It's probably all the way down south. Jones County, Mississippi. Florence County, South Carolina. Then North Carolina. Alabama, Morgan County. Lake County in Indiana. It's showing you exactly the people that's eating the most trash and taking the least care of themselves. So this is why I'm trying to encourage everybody. You have to really take your health serious. It's going to affect generational wealth and all that. It's going to put your family in poverty. That's what it's going to do. You have to really take that serious. And you got to get the lycopene and the resveratrol. You got to get the resveratrol and the lycopene in your system. And this is mostly from red stuff. You got to you got to eat red. This is how you're going to get the resveratrol and lycopene into your system. You got to have both of those into your system. And this is what will put this into your system. And you got to understand, you need them fruits. Okay? You need those fruits. You need stuff like dark chocolate. Okay? These things have healing effects that you have to consume, right? And these fruits, tomatoes is great too. Beets are excellent. These foods help regulate the blood. The dark chocolate is going to give you that get up and go. The dark chocolate is going to give you the get up and go. And it's got all of the lycopene in it, which you got to have that in your system. You have to. You have to have that in your system. Okay, you have to. All right? You got to have the resveratrol into your system to help your circulation, to help prevent blood clotting and all of this stuff. And this stuff gives you the incentive, makes you get up and go like a spark. You'll find yourself getting busy. You'll find yourself, I think I want to clean up this house. And you never know where that inspiration came from, but it came from, you got energy now. You got energy. You're eating food that gives you energy, food that has moisture in it. Okay? Food that has the moisture, food that's going to help your brain, help your daily function. It's very important. In the South, watermelon was eaten constantly. They're not doing that no more like they used to. You can barely find seeded grapes anywhere. People don't eat grapes like they used to. People used to eat grapes like you eat candy and cake now. Grapes were a staple. Not anymore. You got to have that resveratrol into your system. You have to. You have to get that into your system and get that into your baby system. And you need that nitric acid, okay? That nitric oxide. That strong part of the fruit. Okay? They see that nitric oxide is like a natural type of acid, right? Meaning that it's not it'll burn all that stuff out of your arteries, clean your arteries out. It'll keep your arteries open and clean. This is the one. This is a good one. Get Snap. It's got the beets in it. It's got the berries in it, and it's in a powder form, so it's concentrated. So you can get more in one dose than you can get. You'd have to eat a whole bunch of fruit. Whereas you could take one scoop of that and put it in some water. And the children gonna like it because they think it's juice. They think it's juice. If you're working out, you need to have this. So you can get the lycopene and the resveratrol in your system. You have to. And you got to exercise, but you're not going to exercise unless you give yourself something to hype you up. And there are certain things that will just hype you up without you realizing that's just what happened. You won't even know that you're hyped up. You'll just be doing things. Factors contributing to the disparity. High blood pressure. Black people in the U.S. have some of the highest rate of high blood pressure in the world, which is a major risk factor for stroke. Diabetes. Black people are also more likely to have diabetes, another significant stroke risk factor. Disparities in access to quality health care, nutritious food, safe housing, and other social determinants of health can contribute to higher rates of stroke-related risk factors in Black communities. If it's dangerous, mama not going to want to take her walk. She ain't going to want to walk because you got too many hoodlums running around the neighborhood doing whatever the hell they want to do. And the Black men is scared of the hoodlums. Scared. Structural racism. Structural racism can create barriers to health access and contribute to chronic stress and inflammation, further increasing stroke risk. Stress. Some research suggests that stress may be a significant cause of high blood pressure in African Americans, which can increase the risk of stroke. Now, when you look at structural racism can create barriers. You know why? Because the Black man ain't into health like that. So when he gets some money, he want to buy cars. He want to buy big old chains on a big old stomach. He want to drink. He want to smoke. He doesn't have the concept like, let's put some of this money. Let's open up let's open up a little store where people can get some food. They don't got that community responsibility. The young Black man is into showing out and doing better than everybody. And he think it's a big deal because he get money. But he don't never do nothing with the money. And he doesn't have any type of sense. It's just a dummies with money. They don't have any type of sense of responsibility or nothing. They don't eat right. Look at some of these rappers. They look a mess. The guy to plug, I'm the biggest, I'm largest. He won't be around that long. He's a mess. He want a big chain instead of getting rid of that big stomach and getting himself in some type of shape. And he really think that he's going to be able to stay on them stages and do them shows night after night, he ain't gonna fall out. He gonna fall out. He ain't gonna be able to do no serious tour like that and eat like that and get on that stage night after night. He gonna be eating worse, eating more, and getting bigger and bigger, and on that stage huffing and puffing. He gonna fall out right on the stage. Because we ain't got no type of, we want to have the best, we want to do better than the community. We don't want the community to do better. Our priorities is messed up. In the white community, they trying to buy recreation. They trying to go on vacation. They trying to go boating. They trying to go canoeing. They trying to go on hikes. They trying to go camping. They trying to get in nature. They trying to walk. They make that a part of the family culture. So even though some is not doing it, some are doing it, that's allowing the ones that not to say, let me get off my butt and go on this walk. And when you come to Chicago and you get up in the morning, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see Europeans exercise. We have a Lakeshore Drive, goes all the way from the far south side of Chicago all the way to the far north side. And the south side is black. And when you get downtown, it's like mixed. And then you go north, the beach is mostly white. And right now, I could take you to the far south side and we go down the beach. And you're going to see a couple people on bikes, but you ain't going to see a lot of black people on bikes. You're going to see black people at the beach chilling, smoking, drinking, sitting on a blanket, something like that. Once you get almost downtown, you're going to start seeing whites. Now you're going to see jogging. You're going to see a whole bunch of them on bikes, right? You're going to get to the beach. Now you're going to see volleyball. You're going to see rollerblading, okay? You're going to see skateboard. You're going to see a lot of physical activity as you get to the white community. And when you're in the black, you're going to see chilling, sitting around. You're not going to see no physical activity. A couple of years ago when I was bike riding and videoing for the body sculpture challenge, you can go look at my bike rides. And you can see all the people pass me on bikes, and they all white. Every blue moon, I pass a black person. Like, hey. Every blue moon, I see a black person exercising something. But most of the people on them bikes and stuff like that is white, and then some Asians and like a few Hispanics. They don't do nothing either. They out of shape too. But white America is very much into exercise, fitness, bike riding, skateboarding, volleyball, baseball. Very much so. Football, they into that. They into moving. They get up early in the morning in the gym. You get up early in the morning, Chicago, and go on the north side, go downtown. If you was to start a bike movement, yeah, some people would jump in it. Yep. Some people would jump with it, and then if you stuck with it, it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. But somebody would have to start it. But right off the top, a lot of black people that's looking for something to do, they'll be so glad to see that. They'll jump in that quick, depending on how many black people you got in your area and what's the vibe like out in the community. If it's too much racism and they got to ride around and then deal with racism, that'll mess it up. No, it's not just street elements, because where you ride the bikes at ain't no street element. There's areas where you can ride the bike where there's no street element. The street element is only in the streets. And the street element, they're not going to mess with no big crowd. They're going to try to catch somebody solo. But they're not going to mess with no crowd like that. The street elements don't bother crowds. They just bother people by themselves. You know what I'm saying? They ain't not gonna say nothing to no crowd. They ain't trying to go to prison. They ain't trying to get beat up. You know, if I'm out with 3 of the guys, what we gonna do with 15, 20 people on the bike? That we gonna take a L for that. So we ain't finna, the street element just don't bother people like that too, G-Rod. You got different types of street elements. So all the street elements are not robbers. So the street elements mostly beef with the other street elements. They don't really beef with civilians. They don't really bother civilians. Those are robbers, but robbers could be Hispanic, black, white. So we start talking about robbers, that could be anybody. That's not necessarily black. But the street element, they ain't coming to no volleyball game. They ain't coming on no basketball court with no bunch of dudes playing basketball. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna come if we playing basketball. The street element gonna come and they're gonna be over there on the bench over there. They're not even gonna come over there where we at. As a matter of fact, some of the dudes in the street element that used to play ball, they gonna stop being street. They gonna come take their shirt off. They gonna get in the game. To be honest with you, if he can hoop, hey man, he ain't thinking about the street no more. Y'all hooping, I got next. Yeah, he'd be like, I got next. He not gonna be street right there. Nah. Not if he liked basketball, he finna get in the game. If he can hoop, he getting in the game. I mean, you can go to county jail and prison. You're going to see brothers, if they got a basketball court, oh, they getting on that court. And all that gang stuff is canceled. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Black Chicago would get in it big time. Black Chicago, oh, it'll go crazy in Chicago. It'll go crazy. I just got too much going. I got too many irons in the fire, so I wouldn't be able to be consistent. But yeah, that'd go crazy. You'd have to split it up into like 4 groups or whatever. It'd be too many. It looked like a parade. Because we do have blacks that be riding. But it's not naturally done like with the whites. It's done for recreation. But whites do it for exercise. They have an exercise mentality. They got neighborhood gyms. They don't have to go to LA Fitness. They got little 1-story gyms where you can look in there and they'll be over here working out, doing aerobics or whatever to music. And then over here, they got weights and stuff. And they be there at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning before they go to work. Like downtown Chicago got a bunch of little small gyms, like small business gyms. Like some dude just opened up a little gym. They got boxing, they got kickboxing, right? Because I'm getting ready to do I'm gonna do the boxing this winter. I'm gonna do the boxing this winter, and then in the spring I'm gonna do some type of martial art. But I'm just doing it. I ain't doing it to fight. I'm just doing it to work out. But I'm gonna join the box. I'm gonna get a boxing trainer this fall when the winter's over. Because that's a good way for me to get in shape, keep my hands sharp, you know what I'm saying? And build up muscle, get a good sweat. And learn some techniques, because I don't know no boxing technique. I just know how to fight. But I want to know some professional boxing techniques just to have something to do. Just to have the gloves on. The gloves is heavy. But yeah, if I wanted to here, if I had enough time, I could start a bike riding club. It'll go crazy. But if I started a bike riding club in Chicago, it wouldn't necessarily be black. It'll be whoever, because how I'm gonna tell other people they can't come, and anybody might want to come. So it all depends. I don't know. I don't think I would be able to cater it as a black bike riding club. I probably could, depending on what I called it. So I probably could, if I just started it out in the black community on the south side, I could get people to come over from the west side and stuff like that. They would get into it for sure. There's a group of people that's looking for something to do. Church people, working people, they looking for something to do. They don't have enough to do. And we talk about losing weight and getting in shape. You know, a lot of these women, they want to get that fat off them. They want to look more sexy. So yeah, they'll do it. It will go real well. But it's just something we're not doing naturally. We don't get up. We get up in enough time to get dressed and go to work. White Americans in Chicago get up early and they work out and then they go to work. As a matter of fact, all this summer, if you go downtown, you're going to see white Americans riding a bike to work. You're going to see dudes in suit pants and a shirt on with a tie on, riding his bike to work. He got his work shoes in his backpack or whatever, and they ride their bikes to work. That's a fact. They riding bikes to work. They up running and jogging early. They rollerblading. They got them electronic skateboards zipping through. They're way more physical. Way more. I mean, yeah, you could look into it. You know what I'm saying? If you can find somebody that's got the time to orchestrate, it's going to take a lot of time. So you have to find somebody that got the time to orchestrate, to advertise it, and to go regularly whenever they schedule. See, when I bike ride, it's sporadic. I'll just get up. Oh, let me go ride. All my riding I do, most of the stuff I do, they be at work. So when I jump on the bike, it's going to be like 9:30 in the morning after everybody's rush hour gone. I jump on the bike 9:30 in the morning. Bow, bow. I'm finished by 11, sometimes 10:30, 11. I'm finished because I'm on a different time schedule. So I move either way before rush hour or after everybody get to work. Then that's when I go do my shopping and all that. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely got to get some type of physical. Yeah, I got, man, G-Rock, I got, you don't even want to know. I'm not even getting no sleep. That's why I'm drinking this coconut and coffee. I'm drinking this coconut and coffee because I'm working, even building this channel. If the average content creator, if you knew, you know, how much it takes to build a channel and to stick with it until you get 5,000 subscribers, you gotta work it. It's nothing just gonna happen. It takes work, lots of work, and so we have to do something to begin to reverse this unhealthy environment that we're creating. We have to. If we don't, we're going to find ourselves in an epidemic. Okay? We got to help you get the lycopene in your system. You know what I'm saying? To help decrease the risk of stroke, which means we got to get people into diet, eating right. We got to get them into working out. We got to get them into consuming things that will fight against the junk they are eating. You know, like our people don't eat right. And when you don't eat right, that automatically slows you down. Automatically. when you're eating bad food, it's going to make you sit down. And when you're eating good food, it's going to make you get up. It's going to give you that charge. Certain food have a charge, and certain food have a slowdown effect. And we got to get our people to get charged up instead of slowing down. This is going to be hard work. And this is why I'm talking about trying to bring awareness to it, because I don't think a lot of people even heard of the stroke belt. I don't think a lot of people have heard of it or get any idea how serious it is. This is very, very, very serious. Very serious. We're looking at, if we keep going, we're going to hit rates of 20 years old. If we keep going. Good to see you, Virgil. If we don't turn it around, we're going to look up, in our 20s, we're going to be having colon cancer, strokes, heart attacks, obesity, amputations in the 20s, in our 20-year-old. And I mean, that's within 36 months. Within 36 months from now, especially Black Americans, if we don't turn it around and make health a priority, it's going to be a disaster. Because every generation makes the next generation worse. Because all your bad habits, you're going to pass them down to the babies. The babies going to have your bad habits as babies. As babies, they're going to be overweight. As babies, they're not going to be doing no physical activity. As babies. And they're going to start saying crazy things that these babies got, cancer early, colon cancer early. We headed to the point where people are going to be getting amputations. They ain't going to be in their 30s. People going to be having to take dialysis in their 20s. In their 20s. They're going to have to take dialysis. Look, Black people in the U.S. have some of the highest rates of high blood pressure in the world. In the world. Not in America. Black people in the U.S. have some of the highest rates of blood pressure in the world, which is a major risk factor in the world. Black people are also more likely to have diabetes, another significant stroke risk factor. Just think about that. That's crazy. Disparities in access. Look, some research suggests that stress may be a significant cause of high blood pressure in African Americans. That ain't it. We eat junk, and we eat junk all day. We eat junk all day, every day. All the food we eat is trash. Trash. It's summertime. I got friends that's vegans, and they're going to visit their relatives and stuff. And when they go visit their relatives, my friends that's plant-based, why is it a negative experience for them? It's a very depressing experience for them. This is a fact. Right now, this year, I got friends visiting their relatives all over this country, and it's a very depressing situation. Everybody's sick. When I say everybody, I mean everybody. Everybody is sick. People is going out at 30, 32, 35, passing away from diabetes, 30 in their 30s. In their 30s. Out of here. Dialysis in their 30s. In their 30s. Strokes in their 30s. In their 30s. 34. Okay? Africa's the same way. Africa got an obesity problem you would not even believe. Especially South Africa. South Africa got an obesity problem you would not believe. You wouldn't believe it. They are so sick in Africa. And in the villages that's off from the cities, people is just in their little huts and stuff just passing away. The cancer in Africa, it'll blow your mind. I'm gonna do a live. The cancer in that, you would not believe it. The skin cancer, the breast cancer, name a cancer. It's ravishing Africa. They saying within another 5 years, it won't be no way to stop it. I did a couple lives on it. I'm gonna have to do them over here. You ain't gonna believe it. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Jamaica, boom, cancer through the roof. Diabetes through the roof. Jamaica, diabetes through the roof. They drinking them sodas down there. Through the roof. Through the roof. Look, I don't even know what it's going to say. Let's look it up. Stroke in Jamaica. Right? We don't know what it's going to say. It might not be bad. It might not be bad, right? I'm going to show you how black people messed up. Now, we just picked this out of our hat, right? What does this say? In Jamaica, stroke is the leading cause of death and disability, with cerebrovascular disease being the leading cause of both morbidity and mortality. Stroke occurs when the blood, approximately 10,000 Jamaicans suffer a stroke each year, with about 3,000 resulting in death. That's just a little island. And they got 10,000 people suffer from stroke each year. And you know why? Who's seen when KFC gave away free food in Jamaica a couple weeks ago? And how they was out there acting. They was fighting, almost rioting. Who's seen that? They was fighting for the 50th anniversary of KFC. Rasta ain't got nothing. No influence in Jamaica. You think I'm lying? Here they go. Look. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna show you KFC, and I'm gonna show you KFC in Africa. You ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna believe it. Listen, you is not gonna believe it. Okay, man. Listen, you are not gonna believe KFC in Africa. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. You are not going to believe it. KFC in Africa. All over the world, our people are being destroyed. Fighting this food. I kid you not. Man, listen. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. They got Africa turned upside down. All over the world. All over the world. They got our people gone. Our people's health is failing all over the world. It's not just the United States. Look, they got him as a superhero. Man, listen. They got him as a superhero. As a superhero. That's why I say the fake fighting against Black Americans is phony because they doing everything we was doing. It's fake. It's phony. Look, he got the African print on. And here go the thing. The colonel is a slave owner, right? So as we became more like aware of racism and aware of the Ku Klux Klan and stuff like that, that's why they stopped calling it Kentucky Fried Chicken. Because Kentucky, the word Kentucky, reminded Black people of the KKK. So they made it more slick. It's KFC. See, the whole KFC, when my mother and them went, it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. They switched it to KFC to give it that hip-hop sound. Like Bell Biv DeVoe, BBD, and ABC, remember the group Another Bad Creation, and KRS-One, and BDP, see what I'm saying? To give it that sound. You understand? And I can't, what can I say? Because the brother in Chicago ran for mayor and lost against this dude and let this dude take him out for a chicken photo. On my soul. Let that man take him out for a chicken solo to promote it. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you about my people, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? That's the brother that was running for office. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. He let that man take him out for some chicken. And he really think that he gonna run for office again. He really do. Hey, G-Ra, you see why I be wilding on all the Black folks? All of them. I just go from one to the other. When people see me getting on the Africans, they be thinking, man, I'll be getting on everybody. Just everybody get their turn. When I get on the Black immigrants, the Black Americans, the Caribbean, man, pick them. I can make it look like I hate any one of them. If you come in the middle, you'll swear I hate whoever I'm talking about. It's that bad. because we're the sickest. We're the sickest. We play around and we're accepting the sickness. You know, my friend just went to Mississippi to visit some relatives, and it's just making her, it's tripping her out because they're accepting the sickness. The sickness is just a part of life as far as they're concerned. That's what you do. You just get sick, and they've accepted it because they was getting sick in their 80s. Then they accepted it, but they was getting sick in their 70s. And they accepted it, but then they started getting sick in their 60s. And they accepted it. Now they're getting sick in their 50s. And they accepted it. And now it's like it almost skipped 40 and it jumped right to 30. And they still just accepting it. Like, oh, that's just something that just happened. That's a part of life. And it's a 911 because it's going to jump down to the children. The children are going to start to have strokes. The children are going to start to have strokes. I'm telling you. I don't know how long this is going to go. I think Kennedy is trying to stand on something, but look, childhood stroke, while less common than in adults, still affects a significant number of children, with an estimated annual incident ranging from 2.3 to 13 per 100,000 children. Prenatal stroke, that's around the time of birth, occurs approximately 1 in 4,000 to 1 in 1,000. Children aged 1 month to 18 years have an annual incidence of 2.3 to 4.6 per 100,000, which is small numbers, but they will grow. They will grow. All we could do, those of us, all you could do is try to eat better so you be an example. That's all you could do. Look at diabetes. In 2021, an estimated 350,000 Americans under the age of 20 had diabetes, representing approximately 0.35% of that age group. Type 1 diabetes accounts for the majority of these cases, with 304,000 diagnosed. While childhood diabetes rates are concerning, there are regional variations, with some areas experiencing higher incidence, and you could bet that's Mississippi and Alabama. You can bet that those areas is where that's at. Okay, no, wow, hold on. Let's see. They saying type 1 is high from 0 to 19 in Hawaii, Maine, Alaska. Hawaii, Maine, and Alaska. Highest number of cases due to larger population, Pennsylvania, Texas, New York, California, Michigan, Illinois, and Florida. They says they got a lot of people, so the numbers is crazy. It's not doing nothing in the South, which is interesting. Which means the kids is probably still running and ripping down South. Thank the Lord for that. The children is probably running and ripping down there. Okay, let me make another search. Let's look distinctly. Childhood diabetes in the stroke belt. Let's see. See, one thing about these searches, y'all, every time you search, it's going to tell you something different. You got to specifically ask it what you're looking for. Now, this is saying something different. The stroke belt, a region in the southwestern United States with high stroke mortality, also experienced a high prevalence of childhood diabetes. And this region is also referred to as the diabetes belt. Oh my God. Due to the overlap. Are you kidding me? The diabetes belt. Oh God, how many lives am I going to have to do? Okay. What y'all think about? Oh my God. Did you know it was a diabetes belt? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Are you kidding me? See how we just keep. The diabetes belt consists of 644 counties in 15 states. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. What? I don't know what to tell you. Look at this, y'all. The diabetes belt. I guess these dark red. I guess the dark red is the diabetes belt. I guess. Okay. Kentucky and diabetes belts needs to do more to keep percentage of residents with costly disease from rising. So, World Diabetes Day. 1 out of 10 people over the age of 20 now has diabetes. And I guess this is the map, and I guess the dark red parts is the worst. Mississippi and Alabama. Georgia ain't good either. Louisiana. Wow. That I got, oh man. Do I have to research that now? Because they're not going to tell me unless I research it for you all. They're not going to tell me. They're not going to tell you anything. And I hope you all are learning from this. They're not going to tell you nothing until it gets really bad. They're not going to tell you anything. By the time you find out, it's really bad. They won't tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? The NC nurse, they're not going to tell you anything until it's too bad. CDC identifies diabetes belt. People who live in the diabetes belt are more likely to have type 2 diabetes than people who live in other parts of the United States. People who do not already have diabetes can reduce their risk by being physically active, and if they are overweight, losing weight. Obesity and inactivity account for nearly a third of the increased risk of type 2 diabetes that scientists notice in people living in the diabetes belt. So this is the diabetes belt. Man, stop it. Man, stop. Man, stop. This is just absolutely crazy. You know, this channel and me doing research to talk about these lives is going to really probably be crazy. I'm going down a rabbit hole, I think, because I never heard about no diabetes belt. Okay, let's see the cancer belt. Unbelievable. This is crazy. So yeah, there's a cancer belt. Cancer Atlas. What? What? Oh, they don't call it a cancer belt. It's just saying, it's just showing where it's at. Rates of new cancer cases in the United States. I don't know what to tell you all. It looks to me that we're extremely sick. I mean, that's what it's looking like. Okay, this is 2013. Let me update the search. This is crazy. Look, they got one for the whole world. That's crazy. It's the lung cancer. So they got each cancer. Look, Parkinson's belt. What the? This is crazy. In other words, they don't know yet. They don't know. Y'all, they don't know. They don't know what's going on. They don't know. They're just they're just they're just looking into it. Basically, you all, they don't know. This is crazy. They don't know how sick Americans are. The butter argument, Angela, is this. Here's the problem with butter. The seed oils are no good, but here's the problem with stuff like butter, Angela. Always remember this. You know how you get butter and you melt it, and then it's not yellowish no more. It turns to oil. Anything like that, sweetheart, when you put it in your body, what it's going to do? It's going to clog back up. It's going to turn, when you melt the butter, cool. But when you put it back in your system, it's going to turn back to that cloggy butter. Now, if that gets in your veins, it's gonna stop up your heart. It's gonna stop up everything because it's gonna turn back clumpy. So when these people eat this stuff, Angela, they got to remember whatever it looked like, especially these things like butters and oils and stuff, it's going to turn back into whatever it was. And some of it is made in a way where it might not turn back as thick. For sure, butter's going to turn back thicker than margarine, but margarine's probably going to turn back too. Margarine's probably going to turn back too. Coconut oil probably won't, because coconut oil, as soon as you touch it, it dissolves. So within your body, it'll probably stay oily. But butter, you could look at butter. Hey, Angela, you ain't gonna put no butter in your car. It's gonna stop running. Hey, ain't it, Angela? It's gonna stop. Your gas tank gonna be clogged up, ain't it? Oh my soul, your gas tank gonna be clogged up. Butter definitely ain't no good. Especially, hey, Angela, plus, we use too much of it too. You know that. We be overdoing it. You know how much butter when I was a kid I used to put on my stuff? If I would have put a little bit, yeah, but we ain't gonna put a little bit. And an overweight person, how much butter they gonna put on their stuff? Lumps of it. And then you eat it, it's gonna turn right back to butter. It's gonna turn right back to creamy, cloggy, which can't be good. It's definitely not gonna stay like it is when you melt it. That's the problem with butter. They never take into consideration, Angela, that people gonna use too much. Gonna use it too often. Imagine a person that use butter all day, every day, every day. They're going through sticks of butter. You know what I'm saying, Angela? Imagine, like me, I can't, when I was a little boy, Angela, I probably put too much butter. Hey, on top of that, Angela, okay, I got breakfast, right? I got butter on my toast. Then I put butter on my grits, right? And then how much butter do I put on my I chop, Your mama like, you don't need all that butter. Then the cake, mama make a cake. It's butter in the cake. It's butter in everything. And that butter, it's going to still turn back to butter. It's all that stuff turned back to, like if you chew up some broccoli, it can't turn back into broccoli. But when you chew up a processed food, right, like cake, that cake could cake back up. You know, bread could cake back up. Like, okay, hey, Andrew, you know how your mama be making a cake and she put that stuff and then it be whipped. It be like as she say, come and you lick the spoon. Now she baked that, then that turned to cake. Now when you eat it, you smashing it up, turning it back to when mommy whipped it. But when it get in your stomach, ain't it gonna turn back to cake? Like when it dry up and the moisture dry out of it, it's gonna be back cakey. That's why you gotta eat that every now and then so your body could, get it out of there. But they got us. Hey, Angela, they got us messed up because our great grandmamas in them, when they made a cake, that was it. But not us, huh? We go to the gas station, we can cook. Man, let me get a couple Suzy Q's. We, because we live in this fast world, we eating cake and we don't even realize it's cake. We eating cookies, then we eat cake. You go to the gas station, we eat cake. Then you eat some corn chips. That's gonna turn back to corn chips. It's gonna mix in there with the cake in your stomach and make like a gooey, like cakey corn chips. We eat a lot of stuff that turns back to like a mush that doesn't have enough liquid in it to break down. An apple can't turn back to an apple because it breaks down in the juice. An orange can't turn back into an orange. Vegetables can't turn back. But processed foods, all you're doing is making it back to how it was before they baked it. So it's kind of like when your mama have you lick the cake spoon, when you eat the cake, that's the same thing. You basically licking the cake spoon. Only it's been processed. Then what's going to happen when it unprocessed? It's going to turn back to cake batter. Basically, you chewing it up, making batter. Kind of when y'all think about it, right? Your mama take ingredients, make cake batter, then she bake it, make a cake, then you grind it up, turn it back to cake batter. It's just cake to get you to eat it, but it's still batter when you chew it up. You basically just eating cake batter. So if you keep getting pieces of cake and you done ate a quarter of a cake, you done ate a quarter of cake batter. That's why they say, sparingly, okay, cool, your body can process it. But if you crazy like me when I was little, come on, man, I'm going to keep getting cake, keep getting cake, keep getting cake. Then I'm going to run get some sodas. I'll be a diabetic for sure. Because you don't never put it all together. You're not going to eat the cake and then drink 2 sodas and then eat some candy. You spread it out. But then when you look up and you look back that week, what did you eat? Oh, you ate 50 pieces of candy. You ate a half a cake. You ate 2 whole bags of corn chips. Then you ate a bag of potato chips. That can't be good. And it just get in there and be like concrete potato chip cake, corn chip in your stomach. Your stomach, like, could you put some type of moisture in there? And you in the toilet rocking. I remember a little boy, your mama knocking. Are you all right in there? No, I'm not all right. You fed me a whole meatloaf. No, I'm not all right. They didn't know no better. We more scientific. We know stuff. I didn't know that when I was a little kid. Nobody knew what we know now. Now we know. Yeah, this is a little crazy. I got to cut back. I got to do fruits and vegetables. That's going to come out my system. I can't be eating all this stuff that they done put together, then my body's breaking it back apart, back to what it was. That's why that cake and stuff is worse than meat, because meat ain't going to turn back to no meat. But imagine you eat meat and then you eating the batter and the batter get in there in the meat and it make like a concrete meat batter, in your stomach. When you think about it, You going to the washroom and you got to have a plunger because when you flush it, the water just run around. It won't even go down, and it won't even all come out. So when you have a bowel movement, that's what you ate 2 days ago. The stuff you ate today, if you the stuff you ate Monday ain't coming out till Wednesday. That can't be healthy. Then you don't even have regular bowel movements. When you go plant based and you have a bowel movement as soon as you two times a day, 3 times a day, you say, "Oh my God, what my life used to be like." That stuff used to just be in my stomach, all that stuff. So then your stomach start going out, growing out, growing out. Your jaw you start swelling up because you're full of the S word. So we never knew when they say you're full of S. That was like a real statement. Who knew? Who knew when they said you was full of shit? Who knew you really was? I always thought it was just a saying until I got older. I said, you really are full of it. And this is crazy. It is crazy. And if you think I'm lying, drink some prune juice. Get off work Friday. Buy a bottle of prune juice, pour it, and watch TV Friday and sip it. And tell me what's gonna happen Saturday and Sunday. And that's gonna be your wake-up call, all y'all. Try it. Matter of fact, when you got a 3-day holiday off, Monday is even better. And when you get off Friday, get a quarter prune juice and start sipping it and watch what come out. And I bet you that will wake you. You're going to be like, what is all of this? What is all of this? I did not eat this yesterday. This, oh my God. And then stand on the scale before you do it. And then stand on the scale Monday and watch how much weight was inside of you. You're going to lose 6 to 8 pounds, maybe more if you're overweight. 8 pounds worth of crap going to come out. It's something I should have been doing. Remember, well, y'all younger, like our grandmas used to eat prunes. Older people had prunes. You get them in the same box that you get the raisins. Whoever, the little raisin company, they also had prunes. And that's why them people used to eat prunes. It all makes sense. My grandmama used to eat prunes. It all makes sense. They were smart. They know how to get that stuff out. We don't. That's why we got colon cancer. Anyway, you are, take care of your health. Don't roll the dice. Don't roll the dice. Go ahead and be precautious to take care of your health. Because when you roll your dice, you roll the dice, then you go to the doctor and you got cancer or you got diabetes. Come on. You're like, I shouldn't even roll the dice. Now you are 6 years going to dialysis. You know how bad dialysis is? Let me show y'all something before we go. I like to scare y'all with people that found out the hard way. I try to make y'all find out before you go through this. Check it out. Then we'll finish.
Now I'm coming to you live right now because I've been trying to shoot a documentary up here at my dialysis clinic to try to educate people how many people kidneys gone, how many people in a situation because they don't know how to eat right. Like me, I grew up a daddy's boy. I ate what I wanted to eat as a kid, man, and now I'm paying for it. So all you people who let your kids eat what they want, that candy and sweets and all that, they gonna pay for that one day. See, when you young, your body can take it. But you gonna pay for that one. I promise you on everything. All that drink you drink. And people about what I used to do, you know what I mean? They see me doing shit and they bring shit up, they talking, he losing weight. For all my loved ones, I'm doing what this doctor tell me. My bro died today because he didn't want to do what them folks said, man. Go to the doctor, man, and do what them folks tell you. I don't care how much you ain't been taught the doctor try to kill you. You killing yourself by what you eat, man. I got kidney failure now, and I must say, I'm with a dietitian 3 days a week. My blood getting took 2 days a week. And I got people talking down about I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Look at my damn arm. Is that regular to you? Look at that shit. I don't know if you can see it. Look at this. I'm showing y'all today. I ain't never opened up like this, but I lost my partner. So I'm showing y'all. I'm finna go in here and get 2 needles about 2 inches long, a piece at the same time. If I don't do it, I'll be dead in a week. My homeboy had many close calls for the doctor. But he told me every time, the good man seen me through, B. He said, it ain't my time. Well, it was your time today, brother. And it touched me so bad, I'm finna be late, talk me out. It touched me so bad, because you get so personal, and you talk to people who keep surviving the close calls. Surviving close calls. But didn't want to follow through with everything. Thinking the white man trying to kill him. Man, you kill yourself, bro. Now I'm finna go in here. I don't know what I'm risking finna show y'all this. But I'm finna show my people what they don't want y'all to see.
And I hate needles, okay? If you want something to motivate you to eat better, go on TikTok and search dialysis. I'm telling you. Man, go if you man, you ain't even be able to watch it. You ain't gonna be able to watch them. You is not gonna be able to watch it. And these are people that wish they was in your shoes. If you don't have dialysis, if people got dialysis, they would do anything to be you. Kidney failure means you don't have a kidney. It's gone. And then you have to go to dialysis every 2 or 3 days and take all the blood out your body, and it got to be cleaned and put back in your body. That's why you got 2 needles. One to take the blood out and the other one putting blood in. Now imagine sticking that in your arm 2 or 3 times every week for years. Imagine that. Imagine that, Angela. See, this is why I'm trying to save people. No, man, I can't do it. I can't. If I had to do that, I wouldn't eat nothing sweet. Hey, I don't want no honey, no maple syrup, or no sugar. Man, I can't do it. I hate needles. Man, I cannot do that. Imagine, man. Imagine you go do that, and then 2 days later, you got to go again, and you got to go again. If you don't go, you pass away because your kidney is gone. Then you got to be on a list to get a kidney. And they say it could take up to 6 years to get a kidney. And a lot of people pass away before they get the kidney. Then some people get the kidney and it don't work. Imagine that, man. I go through that for 5 years. 4 years, they say, we got you a kidney. Give me a kidney. I go through this serious thing. I think I'm straight. I ain't got to do dialysis no more. Then I go home, and a week later, I still don't feel good. I go out and say, well, that kidney failed you. Do I got to wait another 4 years? See, I can't do it. It ain't a cookie or candy or cake in the world. Man, there is no food in the world would make me go do that. I'm tell you straight up. My parents and my grandparents used to say, a hard head leads to a soft behind. So look, y'all. She been with one kidney for 40 plus years. You can't tell them nothing, Loopy. You can't tell them. Those of us that's watching this, that's doing right, we just fortunate. I guess we just got the right mind state. Like we're able to think ahead, I guess. Some people, I don't know. They just think it's a joke. But it's not. Okay? Yeah, if they had the disease, you get the disease. If they got HIV, bam, you got it. If they didn't screen them and they got HIV, now you got HIV. Who in their right mind want to go through all of that when you could be, and fruit is good. You could be eating watermelons and peaches. You don't need candy like that. Fruit is good. You ever had a really ripe pineapple? Oh man, it's the bomb. So it's just like us, we're the internet generation. So if we mess ourselves up, we just done. Because, the past generation, they couldn't click a button. We could click a button and see, oh, no, don't go this way. So if we don't know no better, it's just something wrong with us. That's all. It's something wrong with us. It's something wrong with us because we got all the information right in front of our face. We have no excuse. We the most when it comes to information, we the most blessed generation so far. Because anything you want to find, we can find it right now. They not, the government ain't blocking information yet. So you can search anything and it's gonna pop up. So we gotta do better, y'all. So this is I don't know, it do something to you when you gotta report this kind of stuff, but it's worth it if I can help y'all, right? And so I'm finna be out of here. I'm gonna leave y'all with one more. I'm gonna leave you with one more person. Y'all take care of yourself, right? Check this person out, and hopefully this inspire you to do better. All right, health is wealth. Thanks for joining. Support the channel too, right? Support the channel, right? And take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all you got is yourself. That's all. That's all you got is you. That's all you got. And so you got to take care of you. You got to take care of yourself. And go over on TikTok and just watch some of these people. All right? Okay. Vegan and Victory. Glad you all joined me. Make sure you subscribe and share. All right? Victory.
Pan around the room, see what's going on, see what the numbers is looking like. It's my dialyzer, and that's my dialysis machine. Some things that I just wasn't paying attention to, and hopefully this can help you guys out. So one was laziness. Laziness was one of the things. It was a big thing for me because get my crystals out. But laziness was one. They say like when you get a lack of wanting to do things that you normally do, but see, the catch-22 with that is that can be considered depression. It can be seasonal depression. Mine started fall/winter, so I thought I was going through seasonal depression. So I kind of ignored that and I kind of threw it off as maybe I work too much, I don't get enough sleep, or I just need to go to sleep. So that's one. The second one was dry mouth. At night, I would have a lot of dry mouth. That resulted into me snoring. I never really used to snore until right before. But my mouth used to get real dry, real super duper dry. Another one is I used to urinate a lot. And when I say a lot, like maybe every hour, every half hour, 45 minutes, hour and a half. Like I was using the bathroom a lot. And at first I thought it was because another symptom was the fact that I was super duper 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 thirsty, and I used to drink all the time, like a lot of water. I used to guzzle 16-ounce water bottles. I used to guzzle 2 liter sodas, and I know I shouldn't have been drinking sodas, but I used to do that. So with that came a quick weight gain because of the fluid, and I didn't know about the fluid, so I was gaining so much weight at one point in time. And then when I had the spells where I was super thirsty and drinking a lot of water and using the bathroom a lot, I dropped like 40 pounds like this. Like I'm thinking about a month or two. I mean 2 months. Like basically 20 pounds a month. I was dropping the weight. And at first I thought it was because I'm drinking water. I was doing a little bit more. I'm like, maybe I'm just losing weight naturally. No. No, I was sick. So another thing was taste. Things had different taste to me. And that's when I knew something was wrong. I'm like, yo, things that used to taste a certain way to me don't taste that way. I used to think like people are making things differently, or Sprite tastes different, or soda tastes different. Sometimes I would have this metallic-y copper, well, not copper, like metallic taste to things sometimes. Also, I thought I had COVID. I thought I had, well, I don't know, well, yeah, I thought I had COVID at one time too, and I kind of wrote it off as that, but I'm glad I didn't. I took a test, it was negative, so we had to move on. Anyways, another symptom I ignored was dark spots under my arms, which I found out after I got out the hospital, that is a symptom. Can be a symptom, not necessarily the absolute symptom. So, and then another symptom was eye shocks. I used to get, like sometimes when I used to look, I used to get like these flicker of lights in my eyes. And I used to think like, oh no, I just close my eyes, go to sleep, wake up, they'd be gone. It was actually like, I think sugar shocks in my eyes. Because if you're diabetic, you understand that when your sugar is high, sometimes sugar gets in your eyes and it gets blurry. And so your sugar level can affect your vision. So, and then the last thing, before everything had happened, and I'll get in a story time about what exactly happened to me and how it happened. But before everything happened, my eyes were blurry. I could barely see, and I was seeing double. And yeah, so that's about 10 symptoms. And I'm not gonna lie, all 10 symptoms, or however many symptoms I just named, coincided with other things that I thought was either fatigue, I needed sleep, I worked too much, did too much. So I ignored them, and eventually it kept up to me. Or I'm sorry, eventually it caught up to me. So this is just a little, for anybody who's feeling that way, or just make sure you get yourself checked out. One thing I didn't do, I didn't get checked out for like a year or two. Just make sure you get yourself checked out. But anyways, I just wanted to go on to go over some symptoms that I missed or ignored or knew, but yeah, like I said, ignored. But just so you won't make the same mistakes I did, I'm going to put my story out there and put everything I did wrong so you can learn from my mistakes, so you won't have to be in this situation like me. Learn from me.